I don't know where we're going with this podcast.
Where are we going?
I don't know.
Are we about done?
Yeah. Would you stop? You're a menace to society. Actually, speaking of menace to society, I had this idea for this speech, and I came up with it like months ago, and my teacher was just like, the speech coach was like, well, why don't you write it out?
Pangolin?
Yeah, why don't you write it out and actually turn it into an actual speech? And I was
The
just
thing
like,
that caused COVID.
Pangolin. Yeah.
Did you know what pangolins were before COVID?
Yeah, actually.
Because I didn't.
There was a Google Doodle.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was Valentine's Day, and you had to help this pangolin get to its mate, this other pangolin.
Huh.
And so I learned what a pangolin was from that. So, this speech, actually, I wrote it really fast. So, what do eating a pangolin covered in bat guano, taking advantage of half the women in Asia, not covering your mouth when you cough, killing 40 million people with ration bread, and not using a turn indicator while driving have in common? Well, using Simpson's paradox, you could find many things. One of these things disproportionately affects one is these things disproportionately affect women. 2, they only affect short people. And 3, they only affect tall people. And yes, those last 2 contradict each other. And you now understand the Simpsons paradox and the basic statistical analysis. However, more importantly, these things affect large numbers of people negatively. And that's what I'm going to talk about today. Sadly, the term things that affect large numbers of people negatively doesn't roll off the tongue. How about a menace to society? That's it. First, and then I go through what the points are, walk a mile in my shoes. By the time I'm finished, you will wonder what is wrong with me and question the ethics of owning and operating a functional time machine. Because I do go into the history, so But let's whip our way through the definition. Now, here's the thing, right? So, when I wrote this, I had to write it in the perspective of I'm a Zoomer. I'm a younger Zoomer. So, 15 years ago, this is a 15-year-old writing this. So, they probably didn't exist 15 years ago, which is wild, right? Because 15 years ago...
Wait, what are we talking? A 15-year-old Zoomer?
Yeah.
Zoomers were around 15 years ago.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is I'm writing it from their perspective, meaning that they weren't even born 15 years ago.
What do you mean?
Or they were when? No, I'm just saying now.
Born?
They came into existence. They hopped out of their mother's womb 15 years ago.
This is 2020, right?
I just wrote this now, 2023.
Okay, so 15 years later is what? 2008.
Right. So a 15-year-old would have no concept of this. Because when I was 8 years old, when they were 8 years old and when I was 8 years old were 2 completely different periods of time.
Okay.
When they were 8, I was 16. So, now 15 years ago, back when 64 gig flash drives were the nerd's fever dream and the clouds were chemtrails, looking up the definition of a word was not simple. If you were allowed, yes, the internet could have been used, but this was, quote, unreliable, end quote. You remember that, right? When they told you, never trust anything on the internet.
Oh.
And they didn't want you to use it, they wanted you to use books and crap. At least that's the way it made it seem like when I was in elementary school.
Yeah, more or less.
So you were told to use this thing.
You were told your Uncle Ernie's online.
I don't know who Uncle Ernie... No.
Yeah, Uncle Ernie.
Interesting.
You can look it up.
Anyways, and then you'd use this thing, and then the person giving the speech would hold out a dictionary. This is a book. It's a collection of thin white material.
It's a collection of tin white.
Oh, they got rid of my H. Probably auto. Well, I haven't read it through. Thin white material that was bound together and the words were inscribed upon it. These words were not meant to be read by a computer, by your eyes. This specific book was called a dictionary. We were told it contained all the words in the English lexicon you would ever need. Of course, this was a lie, and any word from pop culture or science would not be in there. Not be in here. Sorry, I guess you're holding the book. Which makes it a large, funny paperweight. And that's funny because paperweights are obsolete too. This is now.
Oh.
This is now. Sorry, yeah, I had such a weird statement. This is now, though, like talking like the present. It's a weird way of saying it. It probably needs to be said. This is the present, though. So, but anyways, this is now, though, and we have our Lord and Savior Google to get information from. So I'm going to split Menace to Society into two parts: Society and Menace. Google says a society is the aggregate of people living together in more or less ordered community. Well, that's cool. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that means, but I'm sure we'll figure it out together. According to Google, a menace is a person or thing that is likely to cause harm, a threat or danger. Evil laugh.
It says evil laugh.
You could say evil laugh, but I do actually have a pretty decent evil laugh. Because, like, most evil laughs are kind of just, like, are pretty fake. It's like, oh, ha, 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 no. But I figured out how to make myself do a proper laugh that just sounds evil, and I can do it on command, but doesn't sound fake.
Okay.
So, which is fun that I figured out. Anyways, that's perfect. Basically, a menace to society is a human that threatens the utter existence of a collective of humans. Armed with this knowledge, let's dust off some historical examples. This is where things go off the rails a little bit. This entire... In my travels across space-time, I have seen many menaces. Several were presidents of the United States. You have Kim Jong-un, Vladimir Putin, a few religious figures, and the list goes on. However, none were as toxic, despicable, and perfect male role models for someone as the three I picked today. Perfect role models.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with them.
Fun fact, all three today have chef's kiss facial hair.
There's a few notable figures leaving out, but whatever.
I said three.
Yeah, there were, what, you have Kim Jong-un.
Well, no, these aren't the three that we talk about. These are just... I just talk about there are many menaces, and I just took several U.S. presidents, Kim Jong-un, Vladimir Putin, a few religious figures, and the list goes on. The three I talk about...
Oh, you haven't mentioned yet.
No.
Oh.
The three I talk about are... Okay, anyways, have perfect facial hair. The first man of the hour was born in 1162 CE and went by the name of Genghis Khan. Now, why is this old man with interesting fashion sense on my list? Well, not only did he plunder China for its riches, but in doing so established one of the largest empires to ever exist. His empire was brutal and was responsible for millions of deaths. However...
Wait, was he... I thought he was Mongolian.
Yeah, he is.
Why'd you say China?
Because he took over China.
Oh.
Do you know where Mongolia is?
Well, I thought it was just... Yes, I know it's right above China. I just thought it was kind of just like a... I don't know, identity issue. Whatever.
No, he is Mongolian, but the Mongols took over China.
Yeah.
Not only... but it riches...
Kind of like Alexander the Great. He was technically Macedonian, but then he took over Greece and Rome.
Yeah, he never did become Chinese, though. He never got remembered as being Chinese. He just got remembered because they built the wall because of him. Mm-hmm. Anyways, his empire was brutal and was responsible for millions of deaths. However, the most evil act were how he forced himself upon women. Lots of women. In fact, some studies suggest that 1 in 200 people are direct descendants of him. With that said, our next contestant needs no introduction. The mere mention of his name or regime is enough to get you canceled. I'd actually argue putting his signature mustache in the correct area on an outline of a face is enough. Is enough to get you canceled. So, what did the angry German mustache man do? You know who I'm talking about?
The man who made industrial-sized showers?
Well, he caused the Second World War and killed 6 million people because he didn't like their religion.
He didn't solely cause the war. There were other issues, but go on.
All because he got kicked out of art school and the military. Our last man is Joseph Stalin, a cold-blooded Russian communist. He has the highest death total...
Mussolini didn't make the cut.
No. Pussy. He has the highest death total on this list. He killed 40 million people, give or take 20 million, because the Soviet Union's head geneticist didn't understand actual genetics. So these people died for the sake of rationing bread. Stalin was also mean to just about anyone and everyone and anyone. If there is anyone you can think of that shouldn't be on this list, leave a comment below.
That shouldn't or should?
That should be, should it or should or shouldn't be on this list. Leave a comment below. The joke, I was going to make a joke, but the point was too long already. I was going to say, now some people would say that Harry S. Truman should be on this list. And then replace Adolf Hitler with Harry S. Truman. And say, the guy nuked 2 cities and kept sheep on the White House lawn. What a nutcase.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with having sheep. If Alexander, was it Hamilton, who invited alligators into the White House? Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't think it was Hamilton actually, but
John Quincy Adams, the second president of the United States.
he kept an alligator in the White House for several months. It was a pet. It was
A
pet.
gift from...
Marquis de la See, there's nothing wrong with sheep. If you can bring an alligator into the White House, there is no problem with sheep.
Anyway, well, I mean, I have no problem with the sheep. It was just a joke. Anyways, now there are many different ways to be the ultimate menace to society. For example, I mentioned eating a bat guano-covered pangolin was just such method. This idea does rely on RNG. For those that don't play video games, this is randomness. This method, if the fates will have it, can cause a worldwide pandemic that will cost millions of people their lives and many more their jobs. It will also cause the world economy to lose trillions of dollars and redirect the U.S. and the world for the next looks at risk 30 to 100 years. Of course,
it's already rebound.
No, I mean, but world history's been redirected.
Yeah.
Anyways, of course I hear you have a thirst for more blood, death, destruction, and total world domination. Another evil laugh. I got you, fam. You need to reveals visual saying run for president, but I'm going to say run for U.S. Congress. Looks at board. Oh, presidency. Aren't you ambitious? No matter. The method, once you are in power, requires little to no political grease to get the doomsday ball rolling. So there are 4 easy steps to follow to ultimate menace to society. Step 1 is you need to have been born in the 1940s and be clean shaven. Why? Because America loves its boomers. Step 2 is to make sure everything you do is an effort to make as much power and wealth as possible. 3 is to become president of the United States of America. Finally, as president, you are ready to become the greatest menace of all time. Now, to do so, you have 2 options. Either you release a very deadly and contagious virus, or my favorite, nukes. Now, the nuclear option is going to be fast and easy. You are not aiming for military targets. You're killing the largest number of people possible, so you can use them. And then I have a map that circles targets and doesn't circle the United States and Europe, but China and Russia will take care of this for you. Congratulations, you have become the greatest menace to society ever. Although if society is gone, can you still be a menace to it? So what have we learned here today? Well, there are simply there's too much information to fit into one speech. So here is a link to my Patreon where you can see the working thing. I just thought it was funny. Like, imagine like a YouTube video, and so you have people leaving comments, doing the links. I thought the Zoomers would find it funny. Anyways, 2 is that I may have something wrong with me, and 3, how to be the best menace to society possible, and then you just go over the whole thing. So now I hope you will go forth, prosper, and bring civilization to its knees.
Whoa, we did this.
And then I just go over the 3 points again. That's the whole point of a conclusion.
Your thesis.
Yeah, you gotta re-go over it again.
Restate your thesis.
Anyways, so that's that didn't take me very long to write it all, and
There it is.
anyways, I would like to thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. New podcasts every Friday, noon Central Time, and good night.